Sometimes when you've lost somebody you care about, there's comfort in the act of placing a monument or planting a tree, or in just remembering a conversation. For one North County man, it's all of these things that bring back the memory of his son who died in Iraq. In Escondido, there's a quiet area in Kit Carson Park that was a favorite place for a high school kid named Jesus Alberto del Solar.
He loved this area because it's the animals, the trees.
Fernando is Jesus's father. Sometimes they would come here together, talk, play soccer, father and son things. They were good times, and he says Jesus was a good boy.
Very happy, very, very happy.
A beautiful boy, he says, who loved cowboys and wrestling on TV, and sometimes trying to wrestle his dad.
Sometimes when I come back home, he got at me and say, "Come on, Daddy, come on." And I say, okay, I resign, no problem.
Even though he admits he didn't want his son to be a Marine, it is this picture that gives him the most pride, and this place that gives Fernando the most comfort.
Now it's a more big one, and it's coming nice.
Last year, a tree was planted here and a plaque placed here as well in memory of his son Jesus, who Fernando says was killed by friendly fire. He says it took a long time to learn the truth about what actually caused the death of his boy. His son used to tell Fernando about his plans and hopes for his life after the Marine Corps.
When I finish, I go to university. It's the same, all time is the same. I go to university for lawyer and the fire department for help the people in my town.
He says Jesus was a good boy, never got into trouble, even came to his dad once to admit that, like his father, he had begun to smoke cigarettes. And could he smoke in front of his father, who said no?
Now, in the cemetery, I bring the cigarettes for him. And I say, "I'm sorry, but you have authorization now for smoking with me." It's very hard for me.
Going to the cemetery is hard, but he does it.
One time a week, maybe two.
His son's body is here, he says, but not his spirit. That's with his family and friends who love him. Still, there is something here that tears at your heart and brings home so clearly what's been sacrificed for his country, for us. All the promise of young life. All the father's hopes for his boy. All of it, now silence. A headstone. A shared cigarette. A whispered goodbye to a hero remembered. Fernando says it was also his son's dream to try to work with children in some way, and he'd like to find a way now to do that on his son's behalf. Coming up, a look at how the experience of losing a loved one in the military has changed these families, how they see life differently, and how, in one case, a young man, mature beyond his years, vows to carry on as his brother did when we return.